and welcome to the Sejpal Oberoi Media. This video is about the North London derby which happened today between Spurs and Arsenal. Now, this game was so significant in the whole Premier League season because Spurs are fighting to stay in third place and Arsenal are fighting to get into the top four. Now, personally speaking, this game should have been won by Arsenal because they had a lot of momentum going into the game and they had the momentum within the match as well. There's a huge moment which cost Arsenal the game today, and that is Aubameyang missing his penalty towards the end of the game. Um, Funnily enough, I was speaking to a friend today on social media, and he's an Arsenal fan. It is absolutely stupid. Like it is so frustrating. He was like telling that it's so frustrating supporting Arsenal, and you know I can get that kind of feeling that I don't really understand that kind of feeling because I'm a Chelsea fan, but I can see where Arsenal fans are coming from because you know frustrating moments like these cost teams important targets to achieve. Now, personally speaking, Arsenal started the game strongly. They were 1-0 up at halftime, and things were good, right? In the first half, 1-0 is a good score. But then Spurs fought back, and you know they stayed in the game. They did not actively push up for the second goal, but they stayed in the game. And Arsenal had a gilt-edged opportunity towards the end to win the game, and they should have really won this one. 9 times out of 10, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang will smash the penalty into the top corner and they would win 2-1. But that didn't happen. In the grand scheme of things, it means that Arsenal are now 5th in the Premier League. Now, considering that United are ahead of them, and also Chelsea have 2 games in hand, which means that Chelsea can get a chance to go closer to Spurs rather than Arsenal. How quickly things can change in the Premier League, especially this season, the top end of the table, this season especially, where Manchester City and Liverpool are miles ahead of the other 4 teams, but it's so competitive between these 4 teams that anything can happen. It is an opinion, and it's just my opinion at the moment, right? I think Spurs have been dragged into that race of that uncertainty where as far as the top 4 is concerned. So technically, there are 4 teams fighting for 2 spots. Now it's increasingly likely that Spurs will get that 3rd spot, but Chelsea have a chance and United have an outside chance. I know it's crazy, the momentum that United has, but really, if they can keep going and Spurs keep faltering, and Chelsea are kind of inconsistent, United could sneak into the 3rd spot, which seemed very unlikely at the start of the season, to be fair. But it can happen. Now, as far as Spurs are concerned, in terms of the grander scheme of things and the overall picture, Spurs need to keep this momentum going and keep qualifying from the Champions League. Because the longer they qualify for the Champions League, the more Mauricio Pochettino will be inclined to stay, and the more the current players will be inclined to stay. The main concern about Spurs is that Spurs are a team which are kind of built on a house of cards, where there are a bunch of key players, and if those key players are sold, of course they'll get a lot of money back for them. But if things go wrong next season, like they finish 6th or something next season, and they reinvest badly, that's when it could all end for Spurs. And Spurs could be in that 6th place purgatory. Arsenal, on the other hand, they're a team on the up overall. Why? Because since Wenger left, there has been a lack of a toxic atmosphere at the club, and things have been good. The start to Emery's tenure has been very steady. People say, "Oh, yeah, he's not a top manager. He's not as good as Allegri. He's not good as good as Zidane. He's not as good as Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp." Look, he's a very good manager. He has won 3 back-to-back Europa League titles. Okay, he also won the French league, but yes, people say, "Oh, it's PSG. They should trounce everybody, in the league." But it's still a league title. Even though you're better than everybody in the league, it still means that you have to play 38 games to prove that you're better than everyone in the league. And if Arsenal keep continuing the same momentum during Emery's tenure, they could become serious contenders for the title and possibly win it if Emery is back properly. That is if. It seems unlikely, but because Stan Kroenke's ownership of Arsenal and the fact that a club kind of have no money, that could pose a massive hindrance to Arsenal. But Arsenal are a team on the up. Personally speaking, Arsenal could really, really do well in the Europa League. And that's the second avenue of getting into the top 4. The good thing about Arsenal is that they have stayed in the race for the top 4 despite being the team which is heavily favored to finish 6th after Wenger's departure, to add to that. And Emery has got this team fighting for 4th spot and the Europa League, which is a massive achievement. I don't understand why people don't talk about Unai Emery and let him fly under the radar, but maybe that's working out for Arsenal in that sense. So I don't really blame the way he's working at the moment. So I think it just works out fine for them. So, and they might just achieve both the targets or one of those targets. Personally speaking, I think Arsenal have still got a good chance of making it into the top 4, and they're probably going to be the team which finishes 4th, because Manchester United, despite all their momentum, they can still lose a couple of games and lose it completely. But Arsenal have been the most consistent team in this whole run-in. They have had good patches, they have had bad patches, and they have had average patches of form before this game. So they still can go on a good run and make sure that 4th spot is theirs. As far as Spurs are concerned, they have to work hard now to consolidate the 3rd spot. It'll be an exciting end to the season. Thank you for watching, and I really appreciate the fact that you're watching my videos and you're subscribing to the channel and liking and or commenting on the videos, and recommending it to your friends, sharing the videos, all that stuff. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed watching this video. Subscribe to the Search Media, and yeah, goodbye.